Hi traders, welcome to another episode of the Forex Weekly Analysis. If you are first time joining, welcome. For those who have been following me for some time, well, this is not really a week analysis. But it's more like it's Thursday, right? But what I would like to go through with you on this video is to really show you some of the potential setups that I have, and I will want to use this as an opportunity to share with you how I do certain analysis, and hopefully you don't only look at the setup, but you look at the way of which I do my analysis, and hopefully along this series of videos, and with time, following and practicing, you'll be able to pick up certain skills that if it fits you, you might want to adopt as well. Alright, so once again, for the new people who are first time watching this video, I really would like to welcome you. So let's dive into it. The first pair that I want to share with you is actually the pound dollar. This setup has been taken place, but what I want to show you is the concepts and the methodology behind all this setup. Right, so what we'll be going through here is really the structure trading. So this works well when the market is moving in a trend. So what I mean by moving in a trend is you can see in this 4-hour chart is that price move in one direction, alright, making a high, and then it retraces a little bit but not breaking the previous structure, and then it continues moving higher, right, breaking the previous high. So what you can see is that generally price is moving in an upward direction. So when we have this 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, and your fourth point break, your second break and close above, so what we want to take note is your second point. So normally what I would like to do is to have my eyes focus on this key level. Alright, so as a visual aid, you can simply drop a horizontal line. And what I like to do is I would like to use Fibonacci to find confluences. So what you can do is from your third point, what you want to do is you pull up a Fibonacci to your recent high, and you try to find Fibonacci confluences around this horizontal structure level that you have identified and are interested at. Alright, so clearly what you can see is that this area, the 38.2 and 50, confluence with your previous second point structure level. So what we are looking at, right, is basically price to come back down and see a rejection from this level back up for a trend continuation setup. Alright, so personally I've gotten in this trade, and for those who are following the FXP founders following the signal service, I believe you all have gotten in around this level as well. Alright, so we are up by about we enter around here, so it's about close to 100 pips. So where we are looking at for targets, right, is basically back up to this high. That's our TP1. And then if you want to look for target 2, what I usually do is I like to use Fibonacci extension, and my target will go up around the 127 area. Alright, so this is my level 2 target. So stops will generally be below this 618. Alright, so because we are taking around this region, I want to keep my risk to reward good. So what I'll be looking at is just below this. So as long as price doesn't break below here, this setup will still be valid. So my stops will just go below, slightly below here, right, the 618 level. Right, so this is a setup that has been played out. So as the saying goes, if you really miss it, don't chase the trade. So what we have very similar, using the same concept and methodology behind this, is on the Aussie New Zealand pair. Alright, so if we go to this pair itself, let me just clear off all the drawing tools. What you can see is that price has a nice trend condition as well. Alright, it moved up, it retraced a little bit, and then it continues moving up, breaking the previous high, and now price is in a range bound consolidation phase. Right, so what we like to see is similarly, right, we want to draw in some horizontal line to identify the key levels. Alright, so this is one, and of course this is one. Right, so depending on how you want to see it, so this one, what we can do is we can still see it like this, right? It retrace, right? It retrace here, and then it breaks up again. Alright, so we have two key levels that we want to watch out for. So what we do is, again, second step is we bring out our Fibonacci tool to find confluence level. So we can clearly see that this confluence level is around the 618 and 786, right, with this structure level. So what we are looking at is if price retraces back to this 618 region, right, we'll be looking for a trend continuation setup, buying into this market and targeting our first target around here, alright, the recent high, and similarly the target 2 will be the extension, the Fibonacci extension of 127. Alright, so if you are taking a trade around the 618 and 786, so your stops would, I would still like to keep my stops tight, right? So what I normally do is that my stops will just go below the 786 level, alright, so slightly below here. Right, so this is one trade that you want to keep an eye on should price retrace back to this region. Alright, so this is basically the structure trading, more towards when price market conditions are trending. This is where you can hop on into the trend whenever price retraces back to the structure level. Right. The other one that I'd like to share with you is basically a double top divergence followed by a retracement of 618, and that's where we enter, alright, right at the 618 retracement level. So what you can see is one good example that is setting up is the USD Canadian dollar. Right. So if you look at this level here, right, what you can see is that price has formed a higher high, right? From here to here, it's formed a higher high. But if you look at your RSI, basically oscillator indicator, what you can see is that the high has formed a lower high, right? So this one is higher, this one is lower, but price prints a higher high. So this is what we call a divergence. So when a divergence happens and price breaks below the midpoint of your two top, right? Basically this is the midpoint, your neckline, right? Price breaks and close above it, so we would then say that this double top is completed. It means that's confirmed, right? So what we want to do is we pull in our Fibonacci from our second top to the recent low, and the level that we are interested at, or we are looking at, right, is basically the 618 level. Alright, so if price retraces, so price breaks this double top, right? So it forms a double top, right? Price breaks the neckline. So this double top has been completed. So how we want to write on this double top setup is that if price comes back to the 618 level, that's where we are looking to short the market. Alright, so we short this market, our first target naturally will be around this recent low. Alright, and what you want to do is similarly to the structure trading methodology, we'll take our second target off the 127 extension. Alright, so around here. And of course, where your stops go, your stops would naturally have to be above your double top high. Alright, so if I quickly pull in a visual aid for you, this is how it goes, right? So your stops is slightly here, your target 1 is here, right, just slightly above 1:1, and your target 2 will be here, right? So your target 2 is close to 1:2, right? So this is a double top plus a divergence, and then you trade the 618 retracement. So this is happening on USD Canadian. The other setup that very similar is the Euro New Zealand setup. Alright, so maybe I'll give you a few seconds and see, or if you want, you can pause the video and see if you can really identify where the double top or double bottom is and how you want to play out the 618. Alright, good. So for those that are really sharp, you'll be able to catch two setups. One over here, right? Let me pull out my right two. One over here. Alright, you can see how this is very clearly a divergence. The other one is here actually, but this one is a little bit shaky. I wouldn't really like this. Reason being because this, if you really pull this, price did forms a low and a higher low, and your RSI indicator is slightly similar. All right. Depending how strict are you, but I personally wouldn't want to take this. All right. So let's just focus on this one, which is really clear, right? Almost similar level, but your RSI is lower, way lower. Right. So once this has happened and price has break and close below your midway point between these two double top, what we do is we once again pull our Fibonacci 2, and the level that we are interested at is right 618. All right. So what you can see is there's some minor structural confluence as well. So if price comes back up to this level, that's where we are looking to short, and our first target is here. All right, about 1.5085, and your stops has to go above this high. Alright, so it's basically about 1:1 for your first target. But depending if you're more aggressive, you might want to just put your stops slightly above this 786. So with that, your risk to reward ratio would then be better. Right? So this is another pair that you want to look out for, the Euro New Zealand. Alright, so the last one, for those that are following me for some time, you know that advanced pattern or harmonic pattern is something that I trade quite often as well. So I would just like to quickly show you one pair that has two harmonic patterns setting up. There are many others that potential forming as well as have been set up earlier this week. But to keep this video short, I will just show you the method of going through spotting a pattern using this example, right? So it's the Euro or Z dollar pair itself. Right. The first one that I want to look at is you can see that there's a few swings. All right. So in harmonic trading, you want to identify swing points, right? So what is swing points is basically a huge and clear movement of price. So what you see is that this is one clear movement. This is another one. All right, and then this is also another one forming. So with this, you have one leg, two leg, three legs, right? And in harmonic tradings, we name those legs starting with X. So you have X, A, B, C, D, right? So D is where your pattern completed, right? So let me zoom out to H4. So what you can see clearly is this is another leg, right? So once you have this, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is forming, right? Current price is here, so 4 is still forming, it's not completed yet. You can start identifying potential harmonic pattern. So in harmonic pattern we use a lot about on Fibonacci 2, right? So if you pull on your Fibonacci 2, measuring your first leg movement, you can see that your second leg, your second point, right? So if you start with X, right, your second point is A, so you see that this B point comes at 786. So when B point touches 786, what we are looking for is a butterfly pattern, and the butterfly pattern completes at 127. So if I draw it in as a visual guide, right, this is how a butterfly pattern looks like, right? So I'll just delete the rest and you'll be clearer now. All right, so what we want to see is that we have identified a pattern, but to add on to our probability, what we want is to find confluences, right? So easy, you drop a horizontal line here and you look left. Is there any structure confluence level? All right, not really. Maybe you want to zoom out on daily, right? Some confluence that we are seeing is over here. Alright, here a minor one. You can see how price actually bounces and crosses. Right over here we have some as well. And in the past, we have this level respected as well. Alright, so it's not exactly a very strong and clear level, resistance and support level, because of this breaks recently. But I personally would still take this trade, right? So depending on your risk profile, how you want to measure and such, decide for yourself whether you want to take this trade. But the whole intention of sharing with you this is to allow you to have a glimpse of what harmonic trading is and what are the psychology and thinking process behind identifying this pattern, right? So this is one pattern. So let's delete it so it's clearer. I'm going to show you another pattern, alright? So you see this forming, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Another one that I want to share with you is this. If you can see it, this is also one leg, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's bouncing up around here. So if we delete this, we can still say that 4 is still currently forming, right? So if your X point is here A, B, C, D, the first thing you want to do is measure your first leg using Fibonacci 2. So what we see is that your XAB, your B point, touches 618. So when this happens, we have a potential Gartley pattern, and the Gartley pattern naturally completes at the 786. Alright, so it looks something like this. Alright, so I'll delete the Fibonacci. So this is your Gartley pattern, and the similar process that I apply is I'll drop a horizontal line and look left. Is there structure level? Alright, so what you see is there's a few here, there's a few nice one over here as well. Right, so similarly, if this pattern completes, I'll be taking it as well, right? So the intention is not really to share with you what are the trades that you can take, but to share with you how I analyze the market and how you can see if this method suits you as well. Alright, so that's all for this week market analysis. Just to add on, I would like to extend this invitation to all. Especially for those who are still unaware about it, is that what we are trying to do is we try to run a bi-weekly traders meetup session every Thursday. A bi-weekly session, which falls on a Thursday evening, right? So we are doing it only in Singapore. So for those that are not based in Singapore, we'll figure something out in the future, how to connect better with you as well. But for traders in Singapore and you are free on Thursday and you would like to meet up with different traders, you can feel free to sit in for this session itself. We'll be meeting in from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Some of the activities that we are doing is basically live trading, as well as coaching, a little bit about coaching. I'm going through some of the trading psychology, trading journal, how you can control emotions, etc., etc. Alright, so the next one that we'll be having it is on the 28th of May. So if you are free and you would like to join us for this, sit in to see how it goes and such, I'll include the link below this video, so you can just click on the events link and RSVP over there. Alright, we are not opening up to unlimited seats, so do RSVP ASAP, so that we'll close it once it hits a certain amount, so that we are able to ensure that everyone gets a certain amount of time during the meetup session, right? We wouldn't want to have too many people coming in the same session, and our attention can't be given to you. Alright, so that's all for this video. There'll be so just a gentle reminder to always look at the data calendar, what news data is coming out later. So this week, especially today, tomorrow, as well as Saturday, there's a lot of speeches. The pound, the UK side, the US side, even the Euro side, a lot of speeches are coming out. So do take note of that and manage your trade accordingly. Alright, with that, I wish you having happy weekend, early weekend, right? Hopefully, and I'll see you soon.